We're
Welcome
recording.
back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has
Let's put
been.
that up. Welcome back. I don't know if that's to you or to me. Whose fault is it? I think it was my
It's both.
both. When you're busy, you're doing a move.
Yeah,
I guess I was offline for like January.
that must have been nice.
Actually, it was nice to be embodied. There's a real world out there,
There is.
and um, it's actually nice. We had this we had this Airbnb up the hill. It was like the office.
Hmm.
And like every day, and I also have my like coffee shop office. Actually, it kind of turned like Ithaca into like a little campus for a little while because like we'd
Yeah.
I'd like go to work in my coffee shop office, and then in the afternoon I'd go check in on the guys on the team in the other office, and sometimes we'd have like little presentations. Sometimes we had like the professor who ended up giving a talk in his class. He came in and I like worked on the material there, and they watched. So it was like kind of an open meeting. So all that was pretty nice. Um,
That's amazing.
we played a lot on the clock tower. You know this game?
No,
Do you know like Werewolf Mafia?
no.
Really?
These sound like very interesting games.
I have a close friend in Seattle who was the one who initially got me into it, and then it took like a year later, and now it's like spreading around Ithaca. Um,
Very cool.
It's like a social deception game, so it's kind of relevant to this to me because I feel like it's a good metaphor for the game we're playing of Civilization. Because like in the game, everyone's pretending to be good, but some people are evil, and some people think they're good, but they're actually supporting the evil side, but they're misinformed basically, but they don't know that. Um, which I think happens in real life.
Wait,
I
you
don't
think people actually do that? Wow.
um, well, we can get into that. But to zoom out here, yeah, welcome back. This is nice. Yeah, how are you feeling? Yeah, right now, energy wise.
How am I feeling?
Yeah, how's your energy?
Um, Overall good. I mean, I've been low energy for the last year, so I'm making do with what I've got, but there's
Yeah,
definitely a lot more excitement these days, with the
yeah,
new job and the
yeah.
move coming up. It's like I'm on the precipice of something new and exciting. I've already been working the job, which is really cool. And yeah, just really enjoying getting back into tech. It's both familiar and different.
I like that, and I plan on like living vicariously through you for a bit.
By
Because
all
I didn't get a
means.
chance when I went to New York City at the end of this January month, and I meant to like catch up with some of my old coworkers, but I didn't get around to it. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear like firsthand. I guess I have some friends at Google that I haven't in Facebook, but I haven't like reached out. But I'm curious like the day to day, yeah, with AI, like what the hell's going on, and does
I
it?
mean, Claude Code is a powerhouse. It does a lot of work, and my attention is mostly focused on feature shape, technical architecture, and I really, it's probably 99% Claude making the code changes, and I'm kind of inspecting what it does and thinking about the implications of certain things, rapidly testing different like feature iterations. Like maybe I'm not supposed to talk about the exact features today, but like I'm doing stuff with like a chat agent and being able to kind of introduce changes into how the responses are structured and organized and the order that
So
it does certain things.
are you doing like back end or both back end, front end?
Both. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's really cool to be able to like look at something and immediately think. And I mean that's like how I've been working with AI before the job. It's just like this is the job now.
Yeah.
So like think about features, come up with a design or kind of implementation idea, hand it over to Claude, it'll just sort of plot its way through the implementation in the way that makes the most sense, the most obvious approach, and then you kind of like steer it. So it's like a genius level intern. But it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
That's good. Yeah, I'm very curious. Yeah, because I feel I'm in a weird also transition where I'm like, I mean, I haven't been coding much, but I want to get into it because I have things I want to do. But I still mostly, I mean, the way I tweet, you'd think like I never use LLMs, but I mean, I do. I just I feel like my feelings around it are the same as my feelings have always been, which is I prefer um like working with frameworks over engines. And to me, that just means I want to understand the architecture and make the decisions and use things that give me. I actually think it's like an ontology thing. Like I have a way that it's architected, and I'll pull in the tools that I want versus and this like engine or library or I don't know what to call it really, but it's versus like me fitting into someone else's world model. So I mean, what that means practically is like instead of asking the LM to like make the app, I still want to retain like how is it made and what are the trade-offs, and then inside of each of these things, ask it to
I think that's even more important than ever, right? Like, how is this made? What is the shape of the shapes? That's architecture. Because like it's really easy to be coding in this way, coding, and uh the implementation grows very organically and almost without intelligent direction, right? Because and this might change. We might have agents that do higher level reviews of the architecture, and agents coordinating agents. But right now, and in fact, like there's a downside to that, right? Like there's an upside to like just get the feature out and get it tested, and don't think about re-architecting the entire car. Just tune up the engine. Um, but then if you're doing that for too long, it's the same as traditional software
right.
development, right? It's just on the order of days instead of
Yeah,
weeks and months and years. If you do that for too long, I fear that it becomes kind of brittle in a way that is sort of non-obvious. You can
yeah,
create a structure like this is the issue with LLMs in general, right? It's like there's a cognitive cost to understanding the response, and it can generate, plausible semantic fractals faster than you can parse them. So it's like a reverse hash. And
that's funny.
that means you can find yourself in a place where you have something that's too complex
That's
to
funny.
fix
Yeah,
uh, faster than it's growing in complexity, which is crazy. It's like an AI nightmare scenario, like the
yeah,
paperclip optimizer,
yeah,
except it's not the paperclips, it's remaking your world and you still fit in it. You're just completely lost and can't find any orienting features. Because every time you orient, you're just like in one tiny little cell, and then you zoom out. It's like, oh my God, I was completely misaligned to the.
right.
It's like the AI knows what's going on. It can navigate that until it can't, and then a bigger
Yeah.
AI comes and renav. So it's like we're at the bottom of the food chain informationally now. And we still
Yeah.
have the levers of control for
No,
like
and
another
and I
year.
mean, I said this in the
I'm a doomer now, but like I think it's funny. It's like if this is a slow motion, fast takeoff car wreck, I'm literally part of like, guys, we just need to talk about the structures that we're creating.
a lot of I mean, again, the way I tweet sounds like I'm very like anti-AI, but I just think it's like I mean, Michael Smith. Morphinius wrote something about this where he was like the tools can lead to our disempowerment and destruction, or they can lead to growth. And he's like, you just have to figure out when it does that. Um,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, all I'm like, I'm actually intentionally making these like kind of like provocative tweets. The last one I made, which went satisfyingly viral, as viral as I needed it to go, had exactly the effect I wanted it to have, which is nice. It's been a while since I did that. Actually, put that here. Um, felt like I still got it. Um, but um, oh, I just think there's a lot of like not thinking about the yeah. I like your meme.
Kind of like not sensical, but like the bus driver is just gonna be like just making sense. Where's the bus driver one? Bus guys, where's the driver? Anyway, there it is. Trying to find a blank one. The internet is so amazing and still so clunky. It's just this guy who's got, everything's too complex. Oh no. I send this to back. Yeah. What were you?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing
It's
that like,
kind of silly, but
but I think you can't like I keep wanting to like it feels like it's a bit of a brain worm to like this will solve all of our problems and
yeah,
I just have to spend more time on it. And
exactly.
there's like things you can't automate, which is like your own growth. It's what I keep saying about I think it's even more clear here when I talk about high status. High status people who have less friends who give them harsh feedback, and so they're stuck. And so if you use, the power of LMs or of just your, wealth to push away constraint, and then you just get worse as a result.
Yeah. Constraints are healthy. If you find yourself in a constraint-free regime, it might be time to locate the appropriate constraints. Otherwise, it's not that they're not acting on you, you just haven't run into them yet.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you give them this power and you're like, that's great, I want to use it, I want to use it, and then like, is it making you better? And and then when you point out it's not making you better, and then you're like, wait, are you against tools? Are you against the future? Are you against tech?
I hate technology and progress.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually wrote a tweet about this last night. I just exercised and my brain was flowing. Don't take on too much. It's like don't use too much power, right? The same principle. How do you know when too much exercise of power? It's like it'll come back around.
yeah. Wait, yeah, there it is. Um, okay, so I wrote like it was on my mind up there, but we can
Let's
pick one.
dive
We can go
in.
in a completely different direction. This is
His
kind of a bit
name
of
is
like,
Michael Clayton.
have you seen the movie
Which one?
Michael Clayton?
No. 2007 film. Truth can be adjusted. Okay. Looks like a fun watch.
It's one of those that I like watched and I was like, this is depicting something very real. This is like I have this thing where I think a lot of people, a lot of fiction is like art is a documentary. My friends make fun of me when I say like this movie is a documentary. They're like, it's not a documentary, it's fiction. And I'm like, okay, but I learned something real about the real world
Yeah.
from it. Um, doesn't like they didn't intend for it to be a documentary, but it kind of is. Um, okay, this is how I described it as like relevant to my world right now. Oof, I actually don't want to talk about this. It's so spicy, but I'm hoping, who watches these streams anyway?
We have zero
Hopefully.
viewers. It's fine.
Yeah, great. So, this is a safe space here. No one's gonna watch
I
this, so
think
I'm just
I
gonna
think
kick
if
it
it's
out.
it's on the public internet, so it's evidence and it can and will be used against you. So
Well, I
keep
and
that in
by the
mind.
way, I think this is actually my job now. It's uh
Mm.
when people have something spicy that they want to put, I actually tweet. It's my pinned tweet now. Did you see that? I want to just tell you that because this is kind of a big announcement. Um, it's the are you watching my screen?
Yeah.
Um, if you want to like leak something to the public, but in a way that's pro-social and that doesn't hurt you, that's the source, or even like the other guy,
Mm.
uh, that's what I have techniques for this, which is a really cool like outcome of I think the research I've been doing.
No social
And
leaking for dummies.
yeah, yeah, and actually like again all these like I think just as a top level thing like I think a lot of what's happening the transition I'm in is like I've been like doing this like R&D for a year and I claim I've discovered a lot of like really valuable important things and I'm either like spending the next few months writing it down or just performing it.
Yeah.
Performing is kind of more fun. Um, and I
I
didn't think
call
I
this
would.
one
What's that? Yeah.
benevolent guerrilla PR.
No, actually, a lot of it is about that. This kind of. Actually, someone, what friend, a real life friend. When I explained to him what I do, he was like, he gave me this like one single sentence that I really liked. He said, "Marketing as," or like, wait, the other way around. OSINT as
Yeah.
marketing. And I thought that
Yeah.
actually encapsulated really well because it's like when people come to me and they want to market something or they want to broadcast something, um,
Yeah.
I can't guarantee I can tell you how to get attention to your thing, but I can't guarantee it will be good attention. So I actually was like another way to sort of describe my offering is like risky marketing. Like again, I'll tell the world about it, but it might destroy your thing if your thing is bad. Like I basically they can't control the reaction of humans. I think a lot what I like I think bad marketing is where you try to control the reaction, and the good marketing is where you um just just broadcast. Um, but
Yeah,
uh
I think
yeah.
there's an element of like pre-compute that you're doing with marketing, right? Like the way that I learn marketing, you have to understand the user. You have to take what you have and sort of uh, do a basis translation into their frame, orient around their needs and their fears and their wants and their conceptions. And so you're doing like pre-compute on the data, right? And so you're not necessarily trying to control their reaction, but you're trying to, I guess, translate it into something that they
Yeah,
can
I have like
relate to.
I have like I've been wanting to write like ethical manipulation manifesto.
Mutual manipulation.
And this was supposed to be like my basically marketing philosophy.
Yeah.
Uh because and it was gonna start with like this question. I was gonna say like if I if I show you a piece of information and it changes your behavior, and I knew it was gonna change your behavior, And in fact, I designed it
I
such
wanted it.
that, and let's say this is the information is true. There's nothing actually wrong with the information. Now, is this what is this? What am I doing? Who am I? Am I doing marketing? Am I a journalist? Doing a documentary, or am I a lawyer? You know, yeah. The question is, and actually, I really like. Yeah, I remember Frankie. Frankie gave me this big A of like, is it inspiration or manipulation? She asked this question a long time ago, and I was like, oh, it's obvious when it's that. And I was like, wait, like I didn't understand why the question was interesting to her. Um, and I
Mm.
started thinking about it. I was like, wait, what is the difference between inspiration and manipulation? Because like the giving you a
Well,
piece of information that changes your behavior and intentionally changes your behavior, it could be either. And I think the difference is in
yeah.
I think
Well,
that
it's like what level does it communicate on, right? It's like if it's trying to sneak under some of your systems and just bypass and go directly to changing you, that's one thing. But if it goes through the front door, right? Like I think there's a description or a definition here that could make a lot of sense, and it wouldn't be scientifically robust, but it could be practically, right? It's like think about drugs, think about viruses.
Mhm.
It's like the delivery mechanism matters,
Yeah.
the mechanism of action, the
Hmm.
degree, the severity, like all of
Hmm.
those things. And so there's sort of an emergent uh characterization or an analysis that you can do and say is like, is this bad?
Yeah.
Right? Because maybe it's like, hey, here's a pill you take, right? And it's gonna make you smarter or whatever, and it does all these other things too. It's like that's bad,
Mm.
right? Or if it's a virus
Yeah.
that's like it doesn't really affect you that much, but you have zero resistance to it, right? Well, that's
I
bad
th
as well.
I think you can basically like I've been thinking a lot about this like moral unit
I love it.
tests.
Yeah.
I think
We're we're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna brute force our way to
yeah.
objective morality.
It's actually the fun part because like
We're, we're we're
Sun
gray hat probing reality for objective truth.
Sun Tsuko is like really launching this project now, which is exciting finally. And
Yeah,
like his approach has been this sort of like theory first, think real hard about
yeah,
it, and mine has been this like bottom up like let me just look at all these cases and see what happens and try to figure out the
yeah.
pattern from bottom up.
They're like
Uh,
two people on the other side of doors, like trying to unlock it
yeah, which is
from
actually
opposite.
really nice that it like works both directions here, and we converge on the same thing, which is actually very robust. Um,
Yeah,
so it's the same thing here. Like I think you can basically we can tell like this pattern of I give you a piece of information, change your behavior. I can think of a bunch of different cases where it's good, a bunch of cases where it's bad, and then by looking at all these, I can sort of come up with this theory of like, okay, when is it good, when is it bad? And as someone who practices, what do I have on my bio now? I have like ethical manipulation of information networks.
nice.
That's a lot of what I do. And I'm like, what do I mean by ethical? How do I recognize others who are ethical, and how do we like,
You know those energy workers?
yeah.
You're an information worker, like an information. You know what I mean? Like energy body. It's like information body. It's like I go in
Uh,
there, I feel the informational
no,
fascia, and I
no,
loosen up.
actually,
Not
no, actually, this is actually serious. Like and because I do this with, and this is actually like, this is the legible version, but like I'm talking about egregores here, and I really,
uh,
okay, I've been wanting to tweet at, some of our mind reading friends, but the way they offer their services to
yeah.
individuals, I do it for companies and for communities and for,
Can read the mind of the company.
yeah, no, actually, and I actually think a lot of people can do this. They just haven't, there's a
Yeah.
power struggle. Like, because if you let one of these people in who can read the minds of a company, they're just gonna point out like the issues, and they're like, hey, that guy is like, sabotaging this team, and it's actually gonna cause chaos immediately, and no one knows how to deal
Yes.
with it. And so because I've worked at, startups and big companies, I know how these things work. and I know how to do like the mystical kind of like sort of I just so actually I'm doing something yes, and this has never really been done. Like, and I think I keep saying like once the mystics, it's like the same way that the rationalists don't like the woo-woo people. Um, I don't know, there's an appropriate bridging here that doesn't destroy one or the other that we can do. Um, okay, but this is good. This was
Sounds
a
like
segue.
the description and the kind of like framework of how this works is getting a lot more robust. It's like if you go to the first
Yeah,
video we did, we
yeah.
were talking about some of these things, but it was more like, I have an idea that this thing exists. And now you're like, I
Now,
am
no, not just that. Like I
turning it
know what it
into
is.
a science.
No, absolutely, I know what it is. I know how to sell it. And I know like people like I've still been like slow rolling the launch of these things because again, it's
Yeah.
a really big thing and it would be enormous and it is already very big. I'm getting people like
Yeah.
reaching out to me a lot. Um, and honestly, it's okay. By the way, that's why I keep tweeting about power. I don't know if you've noticed that. I
Yeah.
still wish I had the. I wish you
Like
could see
this dude
like,
is obsessed with power.
yeah, right.
We're
And
not
actually,
getting it. He's obsessed with like, do I have to have it? Is there some way to
no, that's
not have
this is
power and
real.
still exert it?
Everyone who sees me do this and they're like, they'll
Yeah,
like
it's
DM me or they'll
hilarious.
text me, be like, stop talking about power. What are you doing? This is
Why?
bad. People
It's
who have
it's
power
great.
shouldn't talk about power. People are gonna like you're making yourself a target. People are gonna
Yeah,
attack you. And I'm like, yeah, man. I mean,
great.
people should be like just okay. I say it here.
You're like a sacrificial canary.
That's literally that's the okay. That's it. I told this to where's Ether? Come on. I said like how far can you go up? Yeah, I need to show this. This is the you see the sacrificial canary. Can we write it down? Can you write it over there? Because I'm gonna get this tweet.
Yeah.
Put it in. This is actually very very important. That's because that's the whole thing. I've had to describe Defender in one.
Oh,
Um,
he's literally. Oh my God,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
he's a
Uh,
bird.
that's what I'm saying. Uh,
Prepared for the slaughter.
that's it. Man. Yeah, okay. I'm like the only
Sentinel
public figure that
species.
consents to any interaction.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. I don't. Did you? You didn't think of that when you picked the bird.
No, nothing. I didn't think any of this. The
Yeah.
whole thing was very just like I really when I made we should make a video or like I should make a statement of like um on the
Sentinel
history of
species
December.
are organisms, often animals, used to detect risks to humans by
That's
providing
me.
advance warning of a danger.
That's literally me. My whole thing, and we should. I want to make a webcomic. You maybe
Yeah.
can help me with this. We could do it together. But it's like my whole
Yeah.
shtick is people say there's danger over there, and then the other people say no, that's a conspiracy theory. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And then I show up and I'm like, well, both of you seem really smart, and I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna walk over there, and then if I fucking die, well, now we know. And that's it. When
It's got to be a more repeatable approach. We can't just be relying on your luck, your
um,
intuitive understanding of, it's like,
well,
it's got,
in reality, what happens is like I get punched, or like my status gets
yeah,
hit, or like my I lose money, like I
yeah.
lose real resources. Something
You
dies,
do pay a
something
cost.
decays. Yeah, there's a cost, and I pay that cost. But the important part is instead of a million people having to pay that cost over and over, and then they join the camp that says there's something there, and the other guys are like, that's not real. I'm like,
Yeah.
I basically gain the trust of all these different communities, and I'm like, if I
You know
walk over
what's
there, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny? It's like you're not the first person to walk into danger. It happens literally every day, all the time,
yes,
billions of times a day.
yep,
What you're doing is you're creating a protocol of trust
yeah,
around
that's it,
like there are stories of people like, I did this thing, this happened to me. And people are like, well, you didn't do it in this way, or you should have
yep,
tried that.
yep,
And they totally discount it. What you're saying is like, I don't have an agenda except to poke around and try to
yeah,
ask questions that are dangerous.
yep, yep, and like my mind actually, this a big part of who I am is that transparent mind. I am defender is intentionally is very gullible. It's the most gullible like person you'll ever meet because
Even more than the dodo.
if you tell
Defender
him
will not
I'll,
only not
I'll
only is he oblivious to danger, he's actually drawn to it.
but like I'll like if you're ever wondering like, oh, why doesn't anyone run a company this way? I think it's a good idea. And if you tell me and I'm like, I don't see a reason why we can't, and then I'll just like do it, or I'll like get someone to do it, and then we'll just find
Yeah.
out. And then and if like if someone else says, "Oh, it's terrible, you don't do it," here's the reason. I'm like, okay, well, that's the reason. And if the other guy doesn't, I'm basically like a blender for of perspectives. You can things started with like me self. What's the word? Like I wanted to make a memetics lab, a belief change lab,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to do that. But I was like, well, I have one subject that is consenting to anything, which is me,
Mhm.
and I can infect myself with any belief. See what happens. Uh, okay. Um, That's good. I'm glad we figured out what the heck this
So
subject
you're like
is.
the Shulgin of memetics. You're like memes I have known and loved.
Shogun?
Was it the who was the he did a lot of psychedelics. Shulgin?
Like
Alexander?
self-experimenting?
Yeah. I think so.
Shogun, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a long history of this like kind of research, like what's his face? The original
Trypto I love that there's a rhyme here. Tryptamines I've known and loved. And you could say memes, tryptamemes.
wait, where is that? Where do you find that?
He
Tryptamines?
wrote he wrote this book, Ecal, Tryptamines I've Known and Loved. And he literally like he just goes down the chemical list. There, in fact, if you look at the Wikipedia article, there's just 57. And these are all in the, I guess, tryptamine sort of category.
I didn't know this. I love this. This is very like
Yeah. But
very
it's
exciting.
like mimetically, you could do the same thing. It's
That's
like
no, and I think that's the game. That it's like everyone's like, well, those guys are evil. And I'm like, okay, so if I walk in there, my life should start getting worse. Let's do it. Let's find out.
yeah, you're like this
And
is actually pretty dope. I'm super high right now.
which is honest, that's what I miss doing. I feel like becoming a bigger account kind of sucks because then like people don't
Yeah.
like I showed you an art one where like I said they got away. And this was like someone who was like calling me a wannabe tyrant, and I guess I pissed
You're
him
not
off
even
in my
good at it.
response. Yeah,
You're the
but I
worst tyrant I've ever seen, but you have
I
seen me.
I wanted him to like fix me. I wanted him to tell me like this is what you should believe, and I would have like
Mm.
believed it. He was just like you're dumb, and I was like please change my mind, and he was like no, and I think I did, but I think it's again I always take responsibility here. I think this is my fault. I think I
You know what I
spooked him.
realized?
Yeah,
I realized this recently. I'm not going to tell you how, but I realized that like there's different cognitive or epistemic frameworks that are sort of closed or inaccessible. And so you can't rationalize somebody out of their belief directly. You have to challenge some other vulnerable layer of their identity. It's literally like
yeah,
hacking.
yeah.
And so calling you dumb is like the lowest form of hacking. He's like checking your ports.
But this is actually also important. I think this is why like he blocked me, and because I'm like
Yeah.
open here, and he blocked, and it's because so tell me if this makes sense. But I have a position that is abrasive to his world, okay,
Yeah.
and I must be dumb. If I'm dumb, then solved. The problem is solved. The person
Yeah.
is saying something dumb because they're dumb. Easy. Now this person's actually open and willing to sort of hear you out, and
Yeah.
that's like wait. Now I
Oh,
have to figure out. Yeah.
was he open or were you wanting him to be? Because it looks like he's not.
He was not like it's the other way around. Like I'm open,
Oh, okay.
and so this is. But so why would he block me here? Why did he do this? And it's because how do you resolve? How do you reconcile like someone saying something dumb and evil, but they're not dumb and evil,
Yeah.
yeah, now you have to like figure like I mean this is what you're how I interpret what you're saying about like what is the function of calling me dumb and incoherent? It's to resolve the problem in front of him, which is this not is not truth, it's actually a bad thing. Why is this person saying it? He must be dumb and incoherent. And then you can move on with your life. Because otherwise you have to believe that there's actually good and smart and competent people who believe evil things, and that's requires that's like I don't know, it's a bug, it's a problem.
Oh, I totally agree.
That's my assessment on this one. Um, but this is all good. We're making good progress here. The original thing is Michael Clayton, which again this is a tough one, but I need to talk to someone about it. And this is like could be the next essay that I publish. Um,
Hmm.
in fact, I actually sort of unpublished the draft, and I'm gonna just publish the next one. But let me tell you about the movie. Michael Clayton. It's a movie
Yeah.
about this guy, Michael Clayton, who um, they call him miracle worker and solve any problem. He's like the guy. Um, and we were introduced to him in like some powerful person like hits a car or hits someone else. Like it's a problem. Like the police may be involved. And
Hmm.
so Michael, the client, the main lawyer guy, is out of town, so he calls Michael to sort of go over to this guy to sort of solve his problem. And basically, the fancy, powerful guy is expecting Michael to sort of um, treat him a certain way, but he. So I'm trying to just kind of give you the emotional relationship between them. It's really like do you get have you watched Succession?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of it. Haven't
Okay,
seen the whole series,
so
but
like okay, so in Succession you have like two classes. There's like this billionaire class, very powerful people, and they rely on like their assistants who are like not
hmm.
high class. They don't have a lot of money, but they're like one step away from like enormous power. But they're not
Yeah.
seen as like active players. They just kind of follow orders. But they're like they have to be very competent people because the whims of the powerful people kind of change all the time. Some of them, for example, the assistants of the billionaires in Succession are charged with like getting them like drugs, and so they have to learn how to they have to have these like street smarts that the billionaires don't have. Okay, so like Michael Clayton is that class. Um, for all these lawyers and all these like their clients. He's like the lowest. This is the important part. He's the lowest in the rung in this hierarchy, but he's also like very competent, and he's kind of here because he has to be for like I don't know money purposes or for whatever reason. Like he's low status but highly competent. Uh, Yeah, and so he describes it like when the guy's like expecting him to, like the guy's expected to be treated as like the high status person he is, and Michael's just being like, okay, shut up, sit down, don't call the police, do this, do this. Um, and he's like, I thought you were a miracle worker, and he's like, no, I'm a janitor. Like he's like I'm here when like things are really bad and you need someone to like do things that no one else is willing to do. Um, that's
He was, didn't he play that same role in a more recent movie, like Up in the
oh
Air, where he was there to fire people? I
oh.
think he's being typecast.
Whoa. But it's actually it's a kind of wait, who's the actor?
George Clooney.
George Clooney.
If you click on his face and it'll just pull up his recent.
Hmm.
Yeah. He did one with Kendrick. What was her name? Anna. Wait, no, I forget what her name is.
Let's see specific one.
It's right out the same. It's probably in like 2022 or something.
Hmm.
Up in the air. 2009? What?
What?
No. Yeah. Okay. So this is 2009. It was up in the air.
Oh, there is. 2009, that's a while ago. Wait, and he just goes around firing people? Yeah, traveling
Yeah.
corporate downsizer. No, this is real. I mean, actually, a lot of the this is one of the okay. There's a lot of like hidden parts of society, and I'm excited to like dig in them because they're. I've basically, can I tell you this? Like I've okay. Can I? Sorry to jump around again, but
Hey.
it's relevant, I swear.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so we described the defender. One way to describe defenders is the sacrificial canary thing. Another way to describe the what Defender's project has been is like getting a full big picture of society. Okay, like I just want to know what the whole world looks like, what's happening. Okay, and this is dangerous for reasons. And the way I was approaching it is simply, I'm not gonna pry into any closed doors that don't want to be open. So I'm like only going to look at the good. I'm gonna do a map of everything that's happening in the company, in society, in the civilization. But I'm only gonna look at the good. I'm only gonna look at what's voluntary. Uh, and I'm and I'm basically done. Um, I want to show you. uh, There's a specific image here. Have you seen me? Seen this image?
Mm-mm. Looks great.
This was from an investor update that I sent to like Canro, Analog, and others. But this is me describing like what I've been doing, and I'm like, what I've been doing is I'm trying to do a full sweep of the whole thing, and like I said, I'm not going around looking at any dark corners because
Yet.
again, but here's the thing, like even if I don't, I don't need to because
Yeah.
the gaps sort of like you actually start to to get the shape of them by all the other parts that are in the light. So I actually know exactly where the dark corners are, and because I know where all of the dark corners are, I can sort of assume you know I have these like error bounds. Like I'm like the worst they could possibly be doing is X. The best they could be is Y. And like I know it's somewhere between these, and for each dark corner, I'm like, here's what I think might be happening, and boom, that's your kind of full picture. Okay, so I've been bored because I've like run out of stuff to like investigate. Like I know everything I think that's happening, which again is it's like a bold claim, and it's also like quite hard to prove because other than like asking people to allow me to sort of perform things that I do. It's hard to like write down. Um, I like the memes edition here. But these so the remaining corners are quite dark, and I'm actually just like I'm moving into them now, kind of by necessity. Like they're I mean I'm sort of being dragged into it. Like there's just like
You're
my
running out of entropy.
yeah.
Like
Um,
a uh, mimetic polar bear running. The informational ice caps are melting.
like part of it is actually like somehow like the tide is rising, so that the stuff that's secret is like I'm actually intentionally trying not to look, but it's like it's quite obvious like what keeps happening behind the shadows. Um, they can't hide anymore. I almost want a service where I'm like before I disclose anything, I go to them and tell them like, hey, are you guys aware that it's very obvious that this is happening? Can you hide better? I don't want to. I want to disclose this.
Yeah, like, hey buddy, pull up your pants.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that's kind of the mimetic what the
Your
open
zipper's down.
what the open thing would be doing. So, okay, so with that in mind,
You born in a barn? Practice better infosec.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, it's very important that I don't. I don't know. Did you see this? This follow up here in when I told people to like give me anonymous to whistleblow essentially. but I said like you don't. It's important that if you see evil inside, you speak up.
Yeah.
But I don't want to scapegoat anyone here.
Mhm.
The way I do it, and this is the technique, it's very simple. Um, I basically look for is it a pattern? Because if it's a pattern, then it's great. Then I'm like, then I can talk about it fully publicly without, and then if people are like, you took the secrets about my company, I'm like, no, I didn't. It's actually, it's not just you. Several other people are doing this. Which company am I talking about? I'm not talking about any specific company. I'm talking about a pattern. Um, and it's just, it's not my fault if you see the pattern in your company, like, or if people start to see it. Um,
Yeah.
so this is like the best possible outcome from a whistleblower that you could possibly hope for. Like, um,
Yeah.
okay, so we're
Blast
back.
radius.
Yeah, so we're back here. I like the both roles here, the downsizer and the janitor,
Yeah,
cleaning
right.
up like the problems that high status powerful people get themselves into, without them getting in too much trouble. The problem is they overuse Michael Clayton. He's very loyal. He does everything he can for them.
You're telling me they have a tool that gives them power and they overuse it?
Um, he keeps fixing their problems, and he's so competent. He's so good at it that they keep asking for more and
Too
more and more.
powerful.
He's too powerful. And actually, like this is also the problem with like power, and then yeah, and like how should you use your power. But at some point he comes and says like, this is what's happening now, and this like the police are coming, or like your company's collapsing, whatever. And the top lady here, uh, because the only game she knows how to play is the one where people, everyone in the high status world kind of backstabs each other and threatens each other and bribes each other. So first she tries to bribe him, and then when that doesn't work, she tries to like threaten him. And he's like, lady, and yeah, this is where he kind of cracks. He's like, are you fucking serious? Like, I don't even want your fucking money. Like, I've been trying like bending over backwards and like going through hell and like fighting all these people to try to fucking save you. And I'm telling you, this is what you need to do to save yourself right now. Like, it's gonna get worse, but this is the least worst thing you can do for yourself. And you're trying to get rid of me. Like, you're trying to kill me. He's like, like it sort of breaks him. Um, and I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
quite beautiful. So and again, I think he's stuck in a way like he like it's kind of lose-lose for him either way because he's sort of entangled with this company. So it's not going to end well for him anyway. Um, and he's just trying to do the least harm thing. Um, okay, so that's the story in the movie, and I'm like I think I found the guy. Um, and again, like when I'm applying this pattern here, the my guy, I want to make it
I'm
clear that
curious, real
like,
quick.
yeah,
So, just from your evaluation, having seen the movie, is she in a position where accepting the truth that the threat is coming from outside, like, would that not end poorly for her? My assumption would be, not knowing the situation, that she's delusionally clinging to the only favorable outcome for her, even though it's not real. It's easier for her to know what to do in that scenario than to accept the underlying premise that, like, oh my God, things are structurally
yes,
wrong.
but that's how it's been, but it's getting to a breaking point where now like
Right,
he can no longer protect her from the worst outcome,
right. And
and
so the
that's
only thing protecting her from the worst outcome is her delusion.
yes, and well specifically Michael choosing to help her,
Right.
and like once he stops helping or once he exceeds
I've
his
got to watch this
capacity.
movie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm actually I think I'd like it if you like this kind of frame but because basically at
I
the
just
end
love
like
counterfactuals.
yeah at the end, like she makes the wrong choice because
Yeah.
she should, like, it's collapsing. It's in front of you and now it's
Yes.
collapsing. The bubble's popped.
Yeah.
Save yourself, save what you can, but you cling on to it and you lose everything, and that's it. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I again, I like I wrote this like essay, which is I marked draft, and I wrote it in this kind of like very. I didn't use his real name. I used this word Bob, and I actually wrote very little about Bob, because I think I didn't need to write much. This was mostly like a lot of people know who he is and have very strong opinions about who he is, who what he's done, whether he's guilty or not guilty of the allegations against him. And again, I'm kind of walking in with this like I'm just curious because I am genuinely curious. Is his story? Is it there's a version of his story that he tells me, and
Wait
there's a
till you
version.
be wait until you're accused of your curiosity being an instrument of evil.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, actually, I mean, well, it's already like for a lot of people, this is like a open and shut case, and
Yeah.
this guy's guilty, and like me even bringing this up
It's
is causing
harmful.
harm. Yeah, no, it's causing harm,
Like,
and I'm like I
harmful
understand.
considered harmful.
I'm
The
like I actually
concept of
empathize because
considered
a
harmful
lot of the
is
people a lot of people have told me this like I trust them and I trust their judgment, but
yeah.
but I'm just asking like okay, I'm with you. He's evil. He needs to be destroyed. But how do you know that? Well, I
Yeah.
want you to convince me. Just tell me
Sorry,
what you
we're
know.
back in the it's harm. It's harm causing.
And from my as far as I can tell, this is the real scenario here, which is why I think it's a really fun narrative puzzle for me. Um,
Yeah.
despite this being a really stressful situation for, everyone
Yeah.
involved. But you know, how do I draw this? So there's this incident, and then there's like these various rings around of like these are people who like know that have the negative narrative.
Mm.
Okay. And then but then there's like people close to it, people who are in the room when it happened, so to speak. And mo all the ones that I could get my hands on, who have sort of firsthand knowledge, they're all like, well, yeah, that narrative, the red one that everyone believes is not quite right. Um, except, it's like there's only one person in sort of the room who, if this kind of
Mm.
makes sense. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. How do you do that? Just made it thinner.
Let's change it to medium.
Yeah, that's better.
I don't know why it was large and didn't show it, but there you go.
Um, and so, okay, do you see how shitty this whole thing looks? Like,
Yeah.
like, first of all, like, there's this narrative, the red narrative, and it's like I think there's like maybe one or two nodes in the inner circle so it's like, it's also a kind of a very clear,
You,
so the problem
you know
has
what I'm
been,
obsessed with?
yeah,
Even if all these people are right and it's bad, right? And these people are just too close to be able to see it clearly.
yeah,
Like the the immune response is to just destroy the person and eject them,
right,
right?
right,
And
which is what happened,
that
yeah.
right, which that reinforces the thing, but it doesn't prevent this sort of thing from coming up again.
That was the
It
whole
actually
thing.
makes it worse because when it comes up again, like if the person's aware of the previous thing, they'll be better at it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I was like, the Michael Clayton thing is very important for me because I'm like,
Yeah,
if I understand all this correctly, yeah, that's the problem, is the thing's gonna happen again. And so our boy Michael, or our boy Bob, whatever sort of want to call him here, is in this kind of double bind where he's like, I don't want to destroy this empire that is
right.
built around this stuff. Because also, I think, I mean, he was in that scene, he believes in it, he cares about this work, etc. Um, but also, he's like, but this thing is still happening, and it will happen more. And he's like, it's basically this. He's like, I'm trying to fix it, and you guys
Yeah,
think I'm the cause of it, I just fucking pointed it out, and I was telling you how to fix it, and I guess they panicked or like they didn't know how to make it stop. So it's the same thing. It's this like threat from outside the house versus from you. Um, and yeah, so I don't know. It's this weird. It's this funny thing here. It's a cultural trauma. It's a trauma for the community,
Yeah.
and
Scar
like
tissue.
who do you call to resolve trauma for an egregore? You know,
The
um,
egregoric therapist.
well, and I mean the problem is typically some of them are in here. Some of the competent ones. Uh, and so you kind of need an outside. So I don't know. I'm in this like weird position where like I could do this. It's just such a hot topic. But
Yeah.
there's some big risk here, and I actually wanted to ask a couple more people before I like really go out. I think I'll write. I think the essay I want to write is basically what we talked about here, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna use Bob again so that we don't have to like for plausible deniability purposes. But if it goes as well as if I no one if the canary survives, uh, then after that I might do one with his real name and like just give and then especially again I because it should be ridiculous like if somebody gets mad at me because I'm actually writing my genuine honest understanding of the situation and I have decisions to make because people are like this guy's dangerous and I'm like I don't think this guy's dangerous as far as I can tell for the purposes
Mm,
that I want like I want to hire him or maybe I'm gonna fund him like am I gonna have
mm,
him he doesn't have a community right now this is he if he comes to Ithaca am I gonna get canceled um
mm.
like I need to I have decisions I want to make and
Totally.
he has decisions he has to make and yeah so that's it I've been wanting to draw this for a while and this is the I'm glad you caught on to the this yellow
Yeah.
it is the big part of it
I'm more concerned about the health of the body than the individual events. And
yeah
some people really don't like that.
mm. Mm. Yeah
Some
yeah
people find my allegiance to the overall system and its fairness, aka its life, to be, enemyship. That's harmful. You're harming actual people right now, and it's like the status quo is harming the people right now.
hmm
I'm just
hmm
trying to plot the best path out of it. And yeah, certain perspectives
um
are functionally
no
incompatible with that.
this is real I have this talk about this a lot it's one of my kind of cornerstones the first peace treaty in history was essentially like this like lie, but it it did an important thing, which is it helped both sides save face.
I realize that jokes work in that way as well.
Mm,
It's like a good joke will cause both sides to laugh, and they
mm,
sort of get to rely on their particular interpretation.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's actually quite beautiful, and it's like
And it,
a
it
you
softens it because they had the shared experience of laughing at the same thing, even
even
though
if
they laugh for
they're
different reasons.
right. No, I love that. I like that a lot. That's actually a lot of like
It's like an analgesic, or what is it, like it's a muscle relaxer, literally
the
and figuratively.
that's what I try like the things I produce, especially the tweets and also the Substacks, are like designed to be art, and the screenshot essays, they're designed to be art that
Yeah.
does that. Like I know it's not just that
You're a
I,
you're a duelist wizard.
yeah, I can write things that I like. Not only do I know there's gonna be different interpretations, but I know the interpretations are, and it's written. It's actually I almost feel like people should do this as an exercise, like
Yeah,
write the same te piece of text that gets decoded. I don't think we have that in like programming. Like imagine,
yeah.
hold on, because we can kind
Info
of do this.
illusions. Yeah.
Like imagine a piece of code
It's just
that if
polymorphism, right?
well, well, but it's like it has to be a piece of code that if you run it with a JavaScript compiler, it does
Yeah.
something, and if you run it in Python compiler, it does something else. I don't think we have such a.
Yeah, I swear I've seen that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's not polymorphism.
No, it's not.
Polymorphism is yeah. Are we asking Claude?
Yeah. Hello World program that can be compiled as two different languages simultaneously.
Wait, you found it?
Here's Python and Bash, right? So some really simple examples. But I assume there's more complex ones. I could swear that I've run across something like this before.
But it's honestly, it's actually, I'm surprised I've never sort of had this polyglot program. That sounds made up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice polyglot. No. Actually, oh, okay, there is a real Wikipedia. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Nice. Multilingualism. I like that.
Oh, wait, okay. And like part of it is that you like there's a lot of stuff that is ignored. Like if you yeah, if you have
Yeah,
an
yeah.
engine that completely ignores
That's how people read text.
well, I guess the human minds are like a lot more malleable or flexible as compilers. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of like overloaded words, overloaded like words have many multiple meanings, and so they can pick the right
right.
one based on the context. So it's actually easier to do this for human minds than for compilers. Funnily enough.
Very much so.
Uh,
But learning that skill and actually practicing, I think you're correct in
right.
identifying that as a valuable exercise for people.
This is good.
That would
This
be a
is
cool
really good.
class to teach or offer.
Yeah, no, I actually I think a lot like I'm still kind of figuring out like what the next steps are. Is it a class? Is it a book? Is it both? I mean, and I'm like I'm kind of starting to teach a class. I had a call with the Code Day people, and they want me to sort of run an internship because I
Yeah.
already did one. Um, it's kind of what I'm doing with Cat. Someone offered me. He was like, I paid $300 for per seat for like a whole class from you on this stuff.
It's cool.
So yeah, so I can do like a yeah. I mean and I did that one in like the university. Um, so yeah, I basically feel like we did a year of R&D and now we have a ton of content and now it's like just need to kind of start putting it together. Um,
Totally.
I think it's a good time to sort of start wrapping up. I feel like I made a lot of progress on like what I wanted to show you. Um, and you saw so sort of kind of to summarize, like the you saw a few snippets of like what is in my head, which are these different techniques, but you can I think I don't know if the viewers will sort of catch on to that, but I think you can see the thread of that they're forming. And I put the umbrella emoji here because I think this is for now the umbrella I'm picking. Um, that's gonna combine, that's gonna hold my work with sort of this label or name. May or may not be a company, may just be like, you know, the page for now.
Hmm.
And I'm taking everything as like under this. Like Ori is a product of this social engineering work.
That
Why?
was the
Because
R&D arm.
I know, and again, I mean, I keep changing them, but you know,
Yeah.
for now, this is the answer because and why? But I think this is the most like real, and true answer, in the sense of like, you know, rubber meets the road. Like, what is it? Because
Yeah.
Ori's not an org. Ori's not even like can't you don't apply for Ori. So okay, so what actually is Ori? Ori is like many of my other projects, it's a set of cultural norms that I
Mhm.
put together and that I tested in the wild with real humans. I do human I do human testing all the goddamn time. And I don't have to
Yeah.
answer no IRB. It's one of my favorite parts of my job.
Yeah.
And nobody gets mad at me because I like I megaphone as I'm doing it, and if anybody gets mad, like anybody can stop, anyone can hit the eject button at any point.
Yeah.
If they,
Yeah. The emergency stop buttons everywhere.
it's so exactly, yeah. So literally anybody anywhere who's like, this is bad, stop it. I'm like, all right, everyone stop. Mr.
Stop the line.
Mr. Magoo here says, uh, we're doing bad things. Let's look at it. Um,
I love
which is how like that's how we run an open source project, and I like I feel like to me it's obvious, but if someone opens a pull request, a bug report, and like you look at it and you decide what to do.
it. Yeah.
You have a guy for that. Um, so anyway, like Ori has a lot of successes stories, including like Sam, who's like maybe going to Zurich for to give a talk. That's pretty exciting for an AI research lab. That's
That's
big
crazy.
news.
I
They
love it.
wanted me to go, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to get to Zurich. Uh,
Yeah, it's kind of confusing.
with my well, I think I would need to apply for a visa. Although
All right.
I have a visa for London, for the UK, but that doesn't cover Europe anymore. So,
Hmm. Yeah, that
um,
whole is
but it's
weird.
like, yeah, but it's like, how, okay, but so how did like I'm actually I told Sam like, and he liked this, that he's like my client,
Mm.
and because he's like an independent researcher, and he was like, hey, how do I get my, should I publish this or not? Like, where should I post it? How do I get feedback? How do I get this work, noticed? So it's like, okay, and I sort of worked with him on that.
You're kind of a research patron.
Like I was telling him like his research is his, God conjecture Wolfram stuff, and my research is
Yeah.
him. My research
Yeah.
is the researchers.
Ooh, funky.
I mean, Analog calls this meta-science.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm like, okay, I took Sam stuff and I was like, okay, well, is and because I do this with
Scientific centipede.
I do this with everyone who comes across my desk. It's like, are they are they brilliant or schizo? Is it like crackpot or genius? Is it enlightenment or is
Yeah.
it psychosis? Because if he has a brilliant breakthrough, why doesn't everyone in the world already know it and use it? It's either because his work is an A or it's a U. And how do we test it? We do this empirical test. Like I expose his work to my networks, and then if it's an A, then resources flow towards them. And if they do that, that means like whoever Sam is as a pattern, whatever his work is, I'm like, okay, if that was an A, then maybe all these other people who seem like crackpots, maybe they also have A's for you.
Yeah.
And so I open a channel. I'm basically like
Got a
running around
little
digging.
crackpot network.
Yeah, no, this
Little
that's actually
crackpot wing with a B floor of its own. It's on a
yeah.
different level, split level
No,
house.
actually, and some crackpots, like some people are really hard to like again get it. Like you could completely be a crackpot, and it's still really hard to like follow your work. You could be brilliant, and it's really hard to follow your work. And
Yeah.
like
Some
I
people
do the
live in
work.
tree houses.
Yeah, my job is to, which is really
Some
fun.
birds.
Yeah, to get in there and like figure out which one it is. So that's why
Yeah.
like a lot of the shape of my work has been like investor, because again I'm like looking at these things, looking at
Right.
things that people aren't looking at and trying to find value where others are not looking at. But it's also
Yeah.
this like
You're a
he
you're a attention VC.
yeah, yeah, fucking
Primary
right. I
investment is
love that.
attention.
Invest attention and but it's also a human thing because it's like if the guy is a crackpot, like
Yeah.
is anyone gonna tell him? Like wouldn't that be nice for him to like know? Like I care about these people. These are real humans spending their time. I don't know. They have
Yeah.
families. So like, I don't know. I feel like someone should do this work, and this is why it's
Yeah.
like this like pro-social.
It's
So
pro-social in multiple levels.
yeah. And actually, I don't know if you know, like part of this is supposed to be like because it's like professional social engineering, if you expand it, but it's also professional, like pro-social
Yeah, it
social
works in
engineering. Yeah, no, I think it's a cute overloaded term, which I like.
pro-social engineering, pro-social engineering. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hire the pro social engineers, hire the pro social
Yeah.
engineers.
Make sure your social engineers are pro-social and not just
Yeah,
pro.
yeah. No, right? It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
I hope no one gets, I don't know. I've cycled through so many trademarks. There's some trademark disputes, and
Yeah.
I understand,
Totally.
and but this one maybe is nice and
You
doesn't
should
encroach.
pro-socially engineer your way out of those disputes.
That's what I was trying to do, and it's actually
Yeah.
not, it's not easy because there's a lot of stuff that happens privately that
Yeah.
does not want to be made public, and my thing, everything being public, I'm growing.
You gotta ethically leak that stuff.
It's, which I actually think you can, because again, like the problems they're having, the problems I had,
Yeah.
this is what I really want to do, and I think they actually like that, by the way. The problems I had, the tension, the conflict I had with them, I showed them, they're like, wait, I have this conflict with other people. And they're like, oh, so when you make a statement, it's actually going to be nice. When you explain this, it's not going to be like an us versus them thing. It's going to be like a general pattern, and no one's going to feel targeted. And it
Right.
should just be win-win.
I love it.
Um,
I'm rapidly
cool.
running out of battery,
Okay.
so
This is
gonna
a
have to
good,
wrap up, but
do
do you
you
have other
have,
things you want to touch on before we run?
I think I was just gonna like open it to you and say like, do you have? Because I like when we come prepared. I think it helps. I don't know if you have
Yeah.
something you want me to sort of work on. I know we talked about
Mm,
like having an essay that I come with or that you have that I read ahead of time. Um,
yeah. Well, I'd be interested in doing that for next time. If you want to like get together in another week.
I guess we have to pick
There's a lot of
something.
things like I write mostly about my life these days, but I'm wanting to get back into like writing about interesting things.
Hmm.
Like my first couple of blog posts on Substack were, about AI and life and the structure of societal change under AI, like how we should think about it. And that's the kind of stuff I want to get back into. So maybe we can brainstorm, separately some different topics, and we could write one article or parallel articles. It'd be interesting to write one together. It's
I think it'd
like
be cool. Yeah.
we could write a polyglot article.
Oh. Oh. Well, yes. I mean, I can't decide if we should write like
I could embed my message, you embed yours, and we see which one people come away with.
because I need to know the audience.
Mhm.
Uh, but I can take you the thing and tweet
Sure.
it also. Like
We
if you
could
put
we
it on your
could we
Substack, you
could
can
mess
tweet it.
around with the idea. I think
I
it could
like
be
it.
fun. It might be
I
a
like the
disaster, but
but
I got
it'd be
something
nice to
there.
like try it explicitly and just like see if it works. I like that
Yeah.
idea. Okay,
Cool.
good, sweet. All right. Excited to see the final result. I'll send you. I think you have the link. We should just download this by the way because I don't know. Like we're using free storage from Teal Draw and yeah, they're giving us the
Mm.
grace of like hosting this. I want to like as a standard sort of procedure not rely on. We shouldn't
All
expect
right.
them to if we're not paying them. So we
Yeah,
should
I
download it.
usually screenshot it and I break it
Yeah,
up, so
yeah.
I'll do
Like
that same
your
thing here.
Substack is sort of my source of truth. So anyway.
Cool.
Okay, great. Sweet. Thank you, Viz. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Likewise. I'll catch you soon, man. Take care.